Can you just expound a little about the statement of the embassy regarding the focus? How do you to discuss or help the government, your government, in addressing this issue of illegal Chinese workers?
Well, actually, we've been conducting special operations in addressing related crimes when it comes to gambling. Gambling is illegal in China. And we have expressed our serious concerns over the related crimes involving Chinese citizens who are in the Philippines and the Chinese victims who are in the mainland China. But in the meantime, we have expressed our willingness and readiness to work with the law enforcement agencies here in the Philippines to combat commonly in joint efforts against the related crimes. I think it is our common task and common responsibility to make sure that these crimes will be reduced and eliminated in the near future.
What punishments await these offenders, suspected offenders?
Well, we have our own laws to follow. I think you have also the Filipino laws that regulate and punish related crimes. I think crimes committed in the Philippines, those criminals should be punished in accordance with your laws. But the crimes committed by Chinese citizens, no matter where they are, if the victim are Chinese citizens, they are subject to the punishment in accordance with Chinese law.
So those are am I correct to say that you're seeking an intense cooperation, a closer coordination with respect to these Chinese nationals?
Of course.
Ambassador, may I just briefly shift to another topic?
Yes.
I'm sure you've heard of the statements of the president. He's set to visit China again.
Yes.
He said that he will invoke for the arbitration ruling. Will China finally recognize the UN arbitration ruling favoring the Philippines? President Duterte said he will invoke it when he visits and talks to President Xi. What is will China finally recognize the ruling?
I think our position has been clearly stated at the very beginning of the file of the arbitration. And when the result of the arbitration was given, we also expressed that we will not accept it and we will not recognize it. And that position is not changed and will not be changed. But despite that, we would like to work with the Philippines, particularly with the Philippine government led by President Duterte, to further enhance our friendship and cooperation. As I repeatedly said on many occasions, that the differences over South China Sea only constitutes 1% of our overall relationship. We should focus on the things that will benefit our common development, that will benefit the peoples of the two countries.
Is China amenable to the 60-40 sharing of the resources, to the possible joint oil exploration? I know this was raised by the president already in the past, but President Xi had a different has said something about it. Is China amenable to that sharing, 60 for the Philippines and 40 for the Chinese?
As you know, we have already signed the MOU and the joint exploration of oil and gas in that area. And recently, we have successfully concluded the terms of reference with the DFA. I think under the guidance of our foreign minister and your foreign secretary, Secretary Loxi. I think based on the MOU and terms of reference, we're looking at very seriously what format that we should take in further developing further implementing the MOU so that we can put our actual activities of joint exploration into reality. this is going to be something, as for the percentage of share,
Yes, sir.
this is going to be something that is going to be negotiated and settled by the enterprises concerned from both sides, under the guidance of both governments and relevant agencies concerned. So as for whether it's going to be 60-40 or 39 or 61, this is really up to the enterprises to decide. But there's one thing I can assure you. China will not insist larger share than that of the Philippines. From the perspective of the government, it's really up to the enterprises concerned from two sides to decide.
Sir, Secretary Locsin just tweeted that he will fire off a diplomatic protest because the Defense Secretary Lorensan is now questioning the alleged presence of two Chinese survey ships allegedly surveying around Batanes and near Siargao. Have you had the chance to confirm this information, or are there really Chinese survey ships, civilian Chinese survey ships in those areas?
Up until now, I haven't got any information yet. I am verifying. But the fact of the matter is, there are a lot of ships that is navigating in the South China Sea, civilian, military. I think each one of the ships, particularly Navy ships, deserves careful observation. Not only the Chinese and the Filipinos, but also everyone's, and the larger ones. For example, aircraft carriers and combat groups. But there is one thing I would like to assure the Filipino government and Filipino people. It is our determination to seek final peaceful solution to the differences we have. We're not seeking conflict. We're not seeking trouble. That's for sure. And we are now working expeditiously with the Philippines and other ASEAN countries to formulate code of conduct. It is China which first proposed to conclude the COC within 3 years. It is China who is working very hard with the Philippines and other ASEAN countries, try to conclude COC earlier than 3 years. I think the statement by our foreign minister at the Bangkok ministerial meeting has stated we're not delaying the process. It is someone else in Southeast Asia
Who is?
and outside Southeast Asia. Do I have to specify? Make your guess.
How does China view the statement of the president that he would invoke the arbitral ruling during his visit? Do you see this as a good time to actually invoke it during his visit? Or do you see it as a threat maybe? Or how do you view it?
Well, President Duterte is the president of the Philippines. He has the total to talk about anything he likes, either in the Philippines or on his foreign trips. But I don't recall that he used the term invoke. He said, if I remember correctly, he will mention it in a non-confrontational and friendly manner.